how did what processes did you feel like you needed to which processes did you outsource beyond like your 3PL that really drove in a lot of help, like that really drove value for you?
So one is, once we outsourced the pick and pack, which is not my strong suit. My strong suit is building businesses and marketing. So I would say once you do that, then you need to take a hard look at your own life. I think a lot of people are like, hey, I want to outsource all these other things, add more things to my life that I don't even have time to do anyway. Start with yourself. So I started keeping track, a diary in Get Google Calendar of 2-week periods of everything that I work on. And then I started looking at, okay, what are things that I really suck at? And believe it or not, there's a lot that I suck at, right? So what are things that I suck at? What are things that I just don't like doing? So I started making a list. What do I like doing? What do I hate doing? What's my bucket list? What's my effort list? Let's start looking at how I can take these weaknesses and convert them into strengths.
And then you just went down there and started choosing the ones that you hated doing that still needed to be done and outsource those.
And yeah, using technology to automate those as best as I can. And then whatever I can't actually efficiently use technology for, that I needed actual human labor for, finding freelancers that actually can do it far better and faster and less expensive than my hourly rate is.
So, and this is actually something that comes up a lot with our customers, because a lot of our customers, their bread and butter is selling. They don't want to get involved in logistics and customs. When you look for a third-party company to outsource to, how do you choose the right one and how do you vet them?
That's a great question. So it's really hard to find a good 3PL because there's so many, but some of them are super big, some of them are really small, and then they all have their own requirements. So I think you have to go back to yourself and look at your own product. Is your product high touch or is it low touch? Is it an expensive good or cheap good? Or do you want to have a 3PL on the East Coast or the West Coast? Do they have a proper warehouse management system in place? Can they connect to our own operation system like Skubana? All these things matter when you're choosing a proper, and can they do your FBA workflow and process all your off Amazon orders, and at what price, and does it make sense? So there's so much that goes into it. My 3PL is on the East Coast right now, and I really train them on my process.
So I guess it's like going back to the same idea, the Chinese thing. It's building that relationship and making sure that you guys both get each other and understand what you're looking for.
For sure.
Process. Yeah.
Yep. But I think for people that are listening, in e-commerce or just retail right now in 2018, you need to be a systems thinker to win. You have to think about, how can I build a plug and play operation that's a system? Because everyone's going to copy your product, right? Anyone can copy your product. It's very, very difficult to duplicate or replicate someone's internal system that's proprietary and creates a much more defensive position to succeed.
So you dropped the word proprietary, so I'm not going to ask you. In my head, I was like, okay, Chad, what's your system? But I'm not going to go there.
I'll share my system. I'm cool. I'm all about sharing.
All right, let's hear it. What's the system?
So like I said, we optimized my own life, right? Looked at what was inefficient. I have VAs take care of everything for me. In fact, to the point where my virtual assistants were responding to text messages from my wife. And I got in so much trouble for it, right? It was like they would write back, like they would have a reminder to say, "I love you, babe, XO moi." And my wife is like, "That is not you. You're not responding to my text messages. Our text messages are sacred ground. You can't do that. Like, get them off text." So anyway, I have these VAs.
A text message from you that says, "I love you, moi." That's a VA gone wrong, right? I shouldn't read into that. Yeah, I shouldn't read into that. Okay.
So that's sacred now. So text messages are really the only part of my life that's completely not transparent, right? So like my VAs look at my emails, they look at my everything. They're really integrated into my day-to-day work-life integration, because I'm an entrepreneur. There's not a lot of work-life balance that happens. As you can see, I'm working from home right now.
Right.
So okay, so first is you optimize your own life. Then you optimize your employee's life, because if you can get your employees to say, "Hey, I really hate doing this, this, and this," like other companies give out free lunch, right, or gym memberships. For us, we give a virtual assistant to all of our employees.
Wow.
Because essentially, I think that's a big point. If you can use VAs to help your employees get that ball down the field, then time is never a blocker to your success.
Wow. Okay. So you're going through your life. You're systematically. You're looking at the things that waste time, the things that somebody else can do more efficiently,
Mhm.
or that some that you'll save time doing. Your feedback loop. You're all about the reviews. You find you do your buyer research. You find the right product. You bring it online. You start selling it, and then you start productizing that using all the right technology to make sure that you're not touching things. And I imagine that's what frees up the excess time to work on new projects, right? Like you just like get something, you productize it, you move on.
Yeah, so once you have a system in place, so we use Skubana that automates at least 7 people, and I'm co-founder of Skubana. We developed it out of my own problem that I had running my business online, which automatically integrates to all the marketplaces, shopping carts. But here's the kicker: it will actually create purchase orders awaiting my approval with a bow on top. So I have 1,000 products, and I'm selling on 20 different channels. So think I would have to analyze all the velocity across all these channels, and then I would have to have an employee go in and manually create a purchase order to forecast and demand plan. So those days are over. So we use technology to automate the purchase order process, algorithmically creating POs at the right time, at the right place, with the right quantity. It never goes to the bathroom, right? It never gets tired. Then once you have a tech stack that automates everything with a system, then
Mhm.
you start delegating the inefficient stuff to people like bookkeeping, reconciling that, or putting up certain Facebook posts, which by the way, now you can automate as well. So there's a lot
Right.
of automation you can do. You just have to identify it first, automate with technology, outsource the rest. We're using a project management system called Basecamp, which
Mhm.
I love.
Love them too. Great communication too. Their whole brand voice is phenomenal.
I
Yeah.
saw I saw the founder speak in New York at an EO, I'm an EO entrepreneurship organization, and he was awesome. And I literally bought the software the following day. I bought an annual package, but I was using Trello, I was using Slack. Things would get lost,
Hmm.
sort of using all these different systems, and we unified it with one system with everything in one place. And now
Hmm.
nothing ever gets lost in transit.